The sun is shining, drying out the shed and warming it up more to the point. That's a 1/2 inch plate steel with a part marked off. Hold that in your mind. In we come. And today the plan is we're making a speaker stand. Smashing. Just to lift my speakers about a couple of foot off the floor. This plate here, sunshine, it's great, isn't it? It's 10mm plate. That'll be the top. The 1/2 inch plate will be the bottom. And this piece of rolled steel joist will make the upright. So we're going to slice us a length of this and saw it on the sawhorse, which has had a few modifications. Okay, so it's a Clark bandsaw sawhorse. The legs were really flimsy, so I've stiffened those up all the way inside with decent thick ply. Made and bolted a proper handle on out of steel bar. Extra shelf to hold the legs from spreading. Then right down at the bottom we put a tie bar all the way along. So this thing now is proper stiffened up, which means I can wheel it in and out and the legs don't flex everywhere. Right, I'll set it up for that steel, which is too big for it. Never mind. So, on my length of I-bar, I'm going to put some dicom in the morning. Everyone likes a bit of dicom in the morning. Ooh. Then I'll let that dry and mark up exactly where I want to be. We're marking up the rolled steel joist. It's too chunky, so we'll narrow it down. First of all, cut it square, finish it square on the mill so it's dead square, cut off the edges of one side, get those finished, then do the other side. Well, I feel a bit sorry for it in a way, but there we are. Got a girder strapped onto the sawhorse. It's weighted down so it doesn't go toppling over on me. I've taken off the vise. I've got a couple of G clamps and a strap clamp coming through from underneath. I will get halfway through and then flip it. It's a skip tooth blade on this. Doing a good job. I'll get a good halfway through this before it fouls. Well, we're ringing a bit. We're not quite to the depth yet. Still got a little bit to go, but ding dong bell. Love it. We've got rolled steel joist number 2 being cut on the donkey and up on the mill. The overarms come off so that I can plonk a big old chunk of steel in. I'm going to get it faced vertical and square. So it's just feeding on real slow, straight across the face, and then I'll drop down and come up the vertical. The overarm's off, and somewhere in history, down in this web, it's open, but in this web, someone's taken the time to fillet in a piece of steel with a stud on it. So I'll probably fit a bar to that, and I can use that to hang an indicator on. I'll have this coming out the front this time. But I didn't know that was there, so happy days. We're cutting. I was getting a little spring up on the top here. I could see my oil can bouncing around. So I've just put a couple of strap clamps just to, there we go, one each side, just to take the bounce out of the setup. And time to break for lunch. While I was doing nothing, I've marked up all my angle grinding wheels, because once you use them for a bit, and what's that meant to be? I have no idea. We're squaring off this second girder. Turns out it's got a thinner web. It's not as beefy, so when I'm cutting it, it was wanting to bounce around when I'm squaring it off. So I've had to put some screw jacks inside the web and double up on my strap clamps. If it bounces around and it bounces slightly the wrong way and jams up my cutter, it's a bad day. So a little bit of extra strapping, a little bit of extra jacking. Right, we've got the knuckle head on, we've got the eye-bar section clamped down. We've got some jacks underneath on the on side to try and keep it a bit wider. We've used angle grinder to slice off the edge. That's a coated ripper cutter. It's doing a good job. It's taking about 3mm cut there, so ripper cutter, cutting like a good one. Nice job. This overarm weighs a flaming load. That was a battle missing it back on. Right, you can see where we're going. We're going to have a really stout but sleek stand. Right, nice work. We've sliced that girder down to size. There is a smaller size of girder that's naturally about 100mm wide, but it's quite thin, so I wanted a bit of meat, a bit of weight. Happy with that. Cutting along with the angle grinder, I went to Alan Watkins and bought this brand and Klingspor, and just cut way better than the other brand I was using. So I was super happy with that. Alan Watkins, thank you very much. This is my workpiece here. I'll go halfway from one side, halfway from the other, then finish off with the hacker. We've got it vertical, so I'm cutting the thin edge rather than flat. Trying to cut the whole thing, just won't hack it. We're happily chuntering along. We're keeping about square there. That's where we got to cut one, so that's fine. Flip it, finish it out. There you go, pretty good cutting there. And now we'll mill these good and square. We've got the shell mill running along there, horizontal arbor, back gears, going slow. We're on a medium feed, and we're just going to shonk away this face, and we'll shonk away that face. We're going to get these good and square and neat and tidy. That's taking a decent cut, coming up nice and neat, probably taking 0.5 millimetre, something like that. We'll go straight through that side, get it totally square, twist them round, same again, rinse and repeat. We'll get these properly done, eh? Machine's been lubed up, but sometimes get a little noise in this gearbox, so just there you go. Bit of chain lube sorts it all out. They're always a little bit rattly. It's back gear. Lovely thing. Next up, we've got the old welderoonie setup. We're going to weld the top on, then I'll cut the base and I'll make a base and put the base on. The old welderoonie on top of the bench, make life easy, and I'll put a fire blanket down there. So far we've cut our lump of 1/2 inch in the cutting department, the garden, and we're going to square this now. Yep, we are. That there is my best side. Right, I'm in. Nice and square. And when I've done that, use the proper big square, more and right, so it's a good one. That's it. So what I've done, I've remounted the work. This is my smart side. I've squared it off the column, got it in the right place. These type of clamps are put on first, they just lever down, hold nice. When you tighten these, it tends to spin it. So we've come off the column, we're square to side 1. When we do side 3, we'll be going square to side 1. Alright. So number 1's been done. It's been filed, it's been smoothed, so there's no burrs. I'm not putting my square on a burr or something daft. I'm marked for number 1, and I can see I'm following that line. Next, vacuum this up, flip it round, square it to side 1 again, take the burrs off, set it to side 1 again, and we'll get this side done. Side 2's been cut, side 1's being lined up again. Yeah, that big boy square is actually quite heavy. I'll put that away very carefully. We'll take that side true, then use the vernier in inches to measure that up. Benson Verniers Bradford. The finish of the ripper cutter. There's the finish of that ripper cutter. A light file, bit of a buff, and it's pretty good. That's good enough to powder coat. Now we're on the drill press, and we're going to poke a hole in each corner and thread it M10. I've set blocks so that I can just flip it, put it in, drill it. Should be quick, should be easy. and then I'll use the tapping head to thread these up. We're at the drill press. We're going to put the Tapmatic tapping head on. So I've got a sprung drift. No, yeah, okay, good. I've not set a stop. And we're done. That's sweet, and that's nice and cool. So if that was slipping a little bit, just turn the clutch up a little bit, tighten it up. We know we're M10. That's nice, it's a little tight, so I'll run it again. It automatically finds where it wants to be, no idea how. Okay, sweet, we've been in and out a few times. There's a little burr on the top, there's probably one underneath. But the guts of it are done. So that's your Tapmatic 50X, which gives me M3 to M12. It's a beast. Fantastic. We're tented up with fire blankets, make sure I don't set the place on fire. We've got the old Clark weld going, MIG welder. What we've done is put a decent band of weld down on the inside there, so that when you turn the stand around at the front, you'll just see a clean face. So that stand's done. I'll get it grip blasted, powder coated. Next one to go. And there we go. We're ready to send off for powder coating. We put ring eyes in them. Powder coat boys can then dangle them and grip blast them and all the rest. And when they come back, they won't have scuffed the bottom because they'll be sat on those eyes. So, next step, powder coat. Right, we've gone to powder coat. We've got some mushrooms. I'm going to use spikes in the end, but I need to make some nuts so that I can tighten up and lock my studs or spikes on the corner of my speaker stand. Somewhere in this lump of whatever it is are my knuts. So first thing I'm going to do, pop a centre in. I've faced it off, pop a centre in, take it down to the diameter that I want. It won't go through the bore of the lathe. I'll put a tapping hole in it, take it to the drill press, put my threads in it, and then tidy it up on my mill. Okay, so a bit of something different. We've got our steady rest in place. My cutter's in front of the steady rest. See how we go with that. I'll try a different cutter. So just trying something different there. We put a that's not feeling hot at all. Right. We've dialed that in a bit better now, getting a much better finish. Slowed it down, high-speed steel cutter. And you can see we're just resting this weird sort of square rest that pushes across and down, just stops that work from bouncing on the cutter. I can bring the cutter further in front of the rest just by adjusting the top slide. Happy days. Alright, scores on the doors there. That's pretty darn good finish actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Bronze dust. Oh, never mind. Right, I think I can flip this now. That will now go through the bore of the headstock, and then I can get to just lopping off 8 lumps of that, and I can drill through M for an M10 thread. So we're in a collet hut, which is holding things true. We're piloting out with a 4mm drill. It's sort of bronzy material, so it's pretty quick. Drop the speed down. Tapping drill, 8.5mm. Countersink, save changing tools. Advance the carriage, the thickness of what we of our nut. I'm using a skinny part off tool to try and save material. I don't know how much I've got. This tool's sticking way out, so I don't have to wind quite so much. I want to get some consistency if I can. It's looking unlikely at the minute. Part that off. Okay, so that's my part. Right, we're at the drill press. We've got a lump of slightly undersized material, just so I can put these nuts in, get them trued up easily. We've got the tapping head going. One, two, three. And it should be pretty rapid. It is centered, but they get a wobble on these, so which is why. 1, 2, 3. And once you've got a setup going, you're away. Alright, we're looking pretty good. We've got our nuts made up, and what I'm going to do is castellate the edges now. So off to the mill. Off the drill press onto the Tom Senior mill. We're going to shape up the nuts so there's a bit of grip on the top. I don't want to knurl them. We'll have a bit of grip. So what we're doing, we've got the hard hinge, whatever it is. We've got a nut, screws down. The cutter would tend to undo this this threaded nut. So all we're doing, bring the cutter in. Cut our way around. So back on we go. Make sure we're down. That's down. Non-marking beaks, so terrific. Lock nut. It's all coming towards you now. Yeah, we're good. Right, terrific. So we're back from powder coating, thanks to Impressive Finishings Darlington. Speaker stands looking good. They've come up nice. Down on the base, we've got little daisy nuts and some black suspension holes. Anyway, we've got the daisy nuts. They sit real nice and solid. We've got that's a neat iota speaker and a neat petite made in Barnard Castle. High-end speakers, superb sound. Happy with that. The stands are weighing in at £50 a stand, so decent weight to them. What I reckon is you could fill these webs with, for these iota speakers, maybe a red acrylic flowable epoxy. If you wanted more mass to them, you could pour lead into the channels, or basically any hard curing material. I'm probably not going to bother. I'm pretty happy with where I am, and thanks to neat speakers. Actually, thanks to my wife. She didn't like the red speakers next to the telly, so I said, well, I'll go and buy some black ones, and they are great. So, until the next time, thanks for watching. I'm a goner. Just a little ending shot there of the speaker sat on some little rubber mounts. They've come from Mr. Amazon, and it's just lifting that speaker up and gives a better appearance. This is my Dremel, and I've got a little quick fit adapter on the end. It takes these sandpaper disc things, which are great, but 60 grit, too much. So, and I wear them out. So when I wear them out, what do? I make up new discs. So what I'm using here is just a file divider acetate, bit of spray mount on there, bit of spray mount on the other piece. Give that a second. Okay, so spray mounted on there, Norton paper, eh? Okay, and that is not sticking. Never mind, it will do. Yeah, bit warm but still going. But this one's pretty good on good. All the outside's gone, so just peel him off there. Then I've got an ancient reel of double-sided sticky tape that I have had forever, and boy does that stick. Quick trim. I can't always get this backing paper off. Okay, so that now is sticky as anything. He's stuck on the back of the acetaty stuff. That roughly the size of their disc is roughly the size of my punch. So it looks about centre. Take the persuader. Don't hit your hand, boy. And yet again, I'm not central. But anyway, you get the idea. So I've got a pretty well mounted up disc again. So I've been doing that, making a few discs, making a few spares, and I'll get a load out of this sheet. So I'm just going to keep hold of this. In fact, I'll cut that off. And I like having something a little finer than what they come with.